Hello there, Stevos. Welcome along to Steve's movie wrap-up right here on my YouTube channel, SteveOfficial. Firstly, apologies for the delay in this video. Obviously, it being 24 hours late than originally planned to be uploaded. I'm filming this today, 12th of January 2026. I was going to film this video yesterday, the 11th of January 2026, and get it uploaded at 4 PM UK time on the 11th of January 2026. But yesterday marked 1 year since my mum sadly passed away, and obviously I wasn't in the greatest mindset yesterday. I was in a really bad place yesterday, understandably. I am feeling a lot better today, 24 hours later though. You know, I've come out of yesterday on a much brighter and better side than what I was this time yesterday, but I think it all just came flooding back to me, you know, what happened exactly 1 year ago yesterday and all of that stuff. So apologies for the delay in this video. Secondly, Marty Supreme, Song Song Blue, I was going to see them in cinemas, but I've decided I'm going to hold off watching them in cinemas and I'm going to watch it on digital when they come out over the next couple of weeks here in the UK. So as soon as they do hit digital, I am going to watch them and I am going to review them on this movie wrap-up video for you, or series for you, and then we'll talk about it then. So that'll be all good. And also as well, by the way, thirdly, before I do get into the movies that I have watched this week, some of them are rewatches, and I'll go through the rewatches at the end of this video that I have rewatched. Thirdly though, I just want to go through the fact that earlier this month, back at the beginning of January, start of the new year, Netflix in the UK got rid of Friends, all 10 seasons of Friends, and they also got rid of all 12 seasons of The Big Bang Theory as well. And The Big Bang Theory was also available to stream on Disney Plus and on Amazon Prime Video here in the UK as well. Given the fact that obviously it's come off of streaming, Prime Video, Disney Plus, Netflix, and obviously Friends on Netflix as well, at the moment, at this present moment, there is nowhere that you can stream The Big Bang Theory and Friends on a streaming service. You know, if you want to watch Friends or if you want to watch The Big Bang Theory, then you're going to have to either go out and purchase the DVDs, the box sets, if you are a physical media owner, or like me, if you prefer to watch things on your tablet, on your TV, on your phone, whatnot, then you can purchase the seasons via digital, whether that's on Sky Store, whether that's on iTunes, whether that's on Amazon Prime as well. You know, you can buy the seasons to buy and keep on digital as well. And that is exactly what I've done this week. So at the moment, Amazon Prime here in the UK, from what I understand, I have purchased all 12 seasons of The Big Bang Theory and all 10 seasons of Friends. Now, Friends originally was around about £150 to purchase all 10 seasons. At the moment, Amazon Prime are doing a sale, and they've reduced down the price of buying all 10 seasons of Friends, and you can now buy it for just 50 quid. And then with The Big Bang Theory, all 12 seasons of that was available to purchase for £89. So around about 90 quid, I think it was. But at the moment, again, they've done a discount on all 12 seasons of the box set on digital, and you can purchase it for around about 40 quid. And that is exactly what I did the other day, because I kind of miss my comfort shows. And, you know, I do sometimes occasionally watch Friends. I do often watch The Big Bang Theory as well. The Big Bang Theory is one of those comfort TV shows that I enjoy watching. Now, you're probably wondering, well, why is Friends and The Big Bang Theory not available to stream anywhere in the UK? There is a very perfect good reason behind that, because here in the UK, obviously the US, you guys have got that already, but there is going to be a streaming service which is already available in the US and in some other countries as well. But here in the UK, we have not yet got HBO Max. HBO Max is a streaming service that is launching in March here in the UK. I will do a rundown nearer to the time in March later this year as to what you can expect to see on the streaming service HBO Max here in the UK. I'm going to safely say now that Friends and The Big Bang Theory is going to be two of the TV shows that you can find over on HBO Max when that does launch in the UK in spring. That's why, obviously, they've taken it off Netflix, Prime Video, Disney Plus, etc. So I will go through more on HBO Max nearer to the time when it does launch, how much it costs, when the launch date is, and the content that you guys can expect to find on HBO Max when it does launch here in the UK in March. So more on that very, very soon on this channel. But I am here, though, to talk about movies. Very quick as well, actually. In next week's episode of the movie wrap-up, I am also going to go through some newer films that have come out recently that I've missed, or some that have just come out on digital that I do want to watch. Because across this week, going into next week, I am going to be watching some new movies in the form of Christie, The Smashing Machine, Coyotes, Dust Bunny is another one as well. There is some others as well, some other films. I think Sisu Road to Revenge, Now You See Me, Now You Don't is another film as well. So those are films that you can expect for me to be reviewing on my movie wrap-up episodes over the course of the next couple of weeks here on my YouTube channel, SteveOfficial, as well. Because what I'm going to be doing is every night this week and going into next week as well. Thank God I get paid next week, by the way. Every night from this week to next week, I am going to be purchasing and watching a new film every evening, okay? So that is going to be coming up for you in next week's episode and the week after's episode of the movie wrap-up as well, okay? TV wrap-ups as well are coming soon to the channel as well, and I'll talk to you guys about that in a future episode of the movie wrap-up, okay, in the next couple of weeks, because there's some TV shows that I'd like to watch and review for you guys. It's Welcome to Derry is definitely one of those TV shows because I hear it is really, really good. Right now, though, it is movie wrap-up. So let's find out what movies I have been watching over this past week.
You're watching Steve's Movie Wrap-Up, episode 82, right here on my YouTube channel, SteveOfficial. The first movie we'll be reviewing in this episode is Zootopia.
So, before Christmas, Zootopia released a sequel in the form of Zootopia 2, which I am yet to watch. And before it does leave the cinemas, I have taken it upon myself to rewatch Zootopia, or as it is known here in the UK and other international markets as Zootropolis. Why is it called that, I hear you ask? I have no idea, but to make it easier, I am just going to refer to this film as Zootopia, which, by the way, I gave 3.5 stars over on Letterboxd. So, I have rewatched Zootopia on Disney Plus, so what did I think about it? I did enjoy this film. The voice actors who lend their voices in this film range from Idris Elba, Octavia Spencer, and Jason Bateman. The running time for Zootopia does clock in at 1 hour and 57 minutes. Zootopia does focus on a rabbit called Judy Hopps, who we see as a baby rabbit or as a bunny. She has an aspiration to become a police officer in Zootopia. Everyone believes, though, she would never become a police officer. They laugh at the thought of a female rabbit becoming a police officer. So, what does Judy Hopps do? Well, she proves everyone wrong. I think the messaging in this film is rather cute and sweet because the messaging is you can do anything that you want when you put your mind to it, and that is true. With Judy Hopps, she proves everyone wrong and becomes the police officer that she wants to. I enjoyed revisiting and rewatching Zootopia. It's funny, sweet and adorable, and I do love the sloth when the sloth in the film makes that smile on its face, but does it really slowly because, after all, sloths are slow-moving creatures. This is definitely a fun for all the family film to watch, and I am looking forward to seeing Zootopia 2 become the first film I see at the cinema in 2026. But Zootopia is streaming now on Disney Plus worldwide.
Zootopia 2.
So, I did then see Zootopia 2 at the cinemas. I gave it 3.5 stars over on Letterboxd as well. So, after rewatching and revisiting the first Zootopia / Zootropolis film on Disney Plus. For the record, I don't like the name Zootropolis, as I am going to call it Zootopia going forward in this review, but I made my way down to the cinema for the first time in 2026, and I have watched the sequel, that is Zootopia 2, on the big screen, which, again, for the record, has been making huge box office numbers as well. I believe it has passed $1 billion at the box office, and Avatar Fire and Ash has just surpassed that mark as well. So safe to say Disney is doing great numbers at the moment in terms of box office numbers, and despite the fact that Zootopia 2 was released before Christmas, despite the fact that this film has been in cinemas now for a few weeks and is on the verge of leaving cinemas, I want to add that the screening I was in at 11:40 a.m. on Monday the 5th of January 2026, on the day when kids are meant to be back at school and adults were meant to be back at work, yeah, you would have thought it was Christmas still, like the Christmas holidays, with the amount of children and parents that were sat in the screening I was in, because the cinema screening was packed full of families watching this film. I just hope and pray I wasn't the only person in there who didn't have children, because believe me, that happened once. I was the only adult in the cinema screening without a kid when I went and watched Trolls Band Together a few years ago, and that has haunted me ever since, to be honest. As for Zootopia 2, I really enjoyed this. Again, similar to the first Zootopia film, the messaging behind this film is pretty clear and straightforward, and that is that being in a working relationship as partners means working in teams and taking those risks as well. Again, similar to the first Zootopia film, I really enjoyed the working relationship, working dynamic, the chemistry from main characters Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde. Ki Hai Kwan, Idris Elba, Patrick Warburton, Jason Bateman and Shakira all lend their voices in this movie, and Shakira does a song for this movie which, I won't lie, I have had on repeat on my playlist over the last few weeks before seeing this film, because the song she does is such a bop. But as for the running time, it does clock in at around 1 hour 50 minutes or so, around the same running time as the first film. Something else I enjoyed about this film is the references. You have the news channel CNN, well, in Zootopia's universe, it's ZNN. You have the streaming service Hulu, well, in Zootopia's universe, it's Zulu, or something like that. Also, side note, Alien, the movie Alien is part of the Zootopia universe as well. There is also some references to Tangled and Frozen 2 within the film, and also a reference to Ratatouille as well. But it isn't just Disney references we see in this film, as there is a subtle reference to The Shining as well. For any horror fans who have seen the film and you watch this, then you will get the reference, and for me, I really loved it and appreciated it too. Do I recommend watching Zootopia 2? Yeah, I do. It did get a few chuckles from me, and I did enjoy this. I thought it was fun for all the family to watch, and will I revisit and rewatch this again? For sure I will, when it does arrive on Disney Plus a little bit later on this year. But Zootopia 2 is currently in cinemas and theatres worldwide.
Wicked.
I have finally done it. I have spent the past year and couple of months being in the 1% of the population who has never seen Wicked 2024 before. Until that is now. As I prepare myself to watch Wicked for good on the big screen before it leaves cinemas, I decided it was finally time to watch the movie, this movie for the first time. So, what did I think of Wicked? At first, I genuinely thought this movie was going to bore me. I honestly thought I was going to get halfway through this film, then lose interest in either the story or the characters, but I was completely wrong, because while the running time for Wicked does clock in at 2 hours and 45 minutes, it is indeed a very long movie, but surprisingly, I found myself locked in and entertained all throughout the running time of the film. Now, I have heard that the Broadway musical has a running time of 3 hours long. Have I seen the Broadway show of Wicked before? Well, similar to if I have read the book behind a film, the same can be said about seeing the Broadway musical behind this film. I haven't seen the Broadway musical stage show. And as mentioned, yes, the movie is a musical, so expect a lot of singing and expect a lot of dancing throughout the film as well. I am a fan of musicals. I have enjoyed the odd musical film that has released in recent years, aside from Cats, which released in 2019. That film is nightmare fueling, and I am only saying that about the human-cat hybrids that appear in that movie. I have seen so much culture over Wicked since around the release of this film theatrically. While I didn't see this film in cinemas, why I didn't see this film in cinemas, it's not that I didn't want to, because of course I wanted to, but at the time that this was released in cinemas, I had a lot of personal issues to deal with, and I wasn't in the right mindset to watch films at the time. I was going through those personal issues. But the good thing is, Wicked for Good, I will indeed watch on the big screen before it does leave the cinema, which, by the way, I'm just going to add now, I didn't see on the big screen. More on that in a few moments. But all the TikToks I remember seeing at the time of this release that Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo did as the characters of Glinda and Elphaba, which are the two main characters of the film. I just remember seeing all them TikTok sounds and sounds back then. But Glinda and Elphaba are two students at this university called Shiz, which is a rather weird thing to say because shiz is sort of a slang word for the word shit. And if you don't believe me, then look it up. But that being said, though, Glinda and Elphaba get off to a rocky start, but slowly, as the film goes on, we see these two form a friendship with each other. Now, as mentioned earlier in this review, this is a musical, which means there is singing and dancing. What did I think of the singing and dancing? Well, starting off with the singing, I thought the singing was pretty great, and the songs in this movie were rather decent. Does make me want to go back and listen to the album in full on Apple Music. Other streaming services are available. But that being said, as for the dancing, again, I thought the choreography for the songs was really good as well. The set designs and the costumes that the characters wear as well, they were pretty awesome as well. Michelle Yeoh and Jeff Goldblum also star in Wicked, and I thought they were really good to see on screen within their roles as well. All in all, I enjoyed this movie a lot, and while it does leave us on a cliffhanger, but it does make me excited and look forward to seeing Wicked for Good. What is funny also is back in early 2025, I brought this film to keep on Amazon via digital, and it has only taken me until now to finally sit down and watch this film. Do I regret buying and keeping this on digital? Given the star rating, which is, by the way, 4.5 stars, by the way, just to let you know. But given the star rating, I have given this on Letterboxd. No way do I regret buying and keeping this film. And of course, when the time is right, I will buy and keep Wicked for Good on digital as well. Now, despite the fact that Wicked for Good is already on digital here in the UK and US as well, you are probably asking the question, why not just watch Wicked for Good on digital? Well, because I want the cinematic experience of Wicked for Good on the big screen, especially as I never got to see the film on the big screen when it was first released. Do I recommend watching Wicked? If you love a good musical film or a fantasy film, or if you loved watching Wicked Wizard of Oz, because that is the universe which this is set in, then you will enjoy watching Wicked. And will I watch Wicked again sometime in the future? Of course I will. I know I am late to the party, but I really love this film a lot and would happily watch this one again. Wicked is available to buy and rent on digital platforms.
Wicked for Good.
So next up, I watched Wicked for Good, and I gave that 4 stars over on Letterboxd. The evil Wicked Witch of the West is dead. And no, that isn't a spoiler, by the way, or maybe it was. Maybe I have just saved you the bother of watching both films and told you what happens at the very end of Wicked for Good, even though I think it is safe to say that we all knew from the moment we first watched Wicked how part 2 would have ended. And for the record, I do recommend actually seeing both Wicked and Wicked for Good. More on that later in this review, but I have now seen Wicked for Good, which serves as part 2 from this two-parter film, because after all, they managed to flesh out Wicked into 2 films, despite the fact that the Broadway musical is only 3 hours long, and the first film is 2 hours and 45 minutes long. So naturally, you would think this one would just have a running time of 15 minutes. Well, you would be wrong, as it does clock in at 2 hours and 23 minutes, and the story is finished. Is fleshed out a lot more compared to the Broadway musical. Jonathan Bailey, Ariana Grande, Cynthia Erivo, Bowen Yang, Michelle Yeoh and Jeff Goldblum all star once again in part 2 of Wicked for Good. There are some new songs from this movie, which I will admit isn't as great as the first movie I watched. They could have been better. If someone asked me out of Wicked and Wicked for Good, which soundtrack will you go back and listen to, I will probably say Wicked, because the songs were better in that one, in my opinion. We do see the launch of Yellow Brick Road, because towards the end of the first Wicked, we see Jeff Goldblum's characters show Elphaba and Glinda what he plans to be the future of Oz, and ask for their opinion on what colour the bricks should be on the road and that lead to his castle. And every time I think of that Yellow Brick Road, it doesn't just make me think of Wizard of Oz, it also makes me think of that song by Elton John titled Goodbye Yellow Brick Road as well. The performances in here was somewhat decent, and again I enjoyed this one still, but just slightly less than the first one, though. I think I do prefer watching Wicked than Wicked for Good. However, though, it is still worth the watch, and it is enjoyable as well. Also, I did mention this in my review for Wicked, but about this movie being a fantasy movie, because it is. It does give you that escapism that you need for a good couple of hours. We do also see the main characters that you find from the movie Wizard of Oz. Of course, they don't show Dorothy's face, which I appreciate that they did that. Coleman Domingo voices the Cowardly Lion in this film, and also it doesn't just seem to be me, and I can confirm the actor definitely doesn't star in this film, but the person who plays the Scarecrow in this film oddly and bizarrely looks like Ryan Reynolds. I do wonder whether he has been asked on so many occasions now in the last few months if he is in Wicked for Good, which he has had to deny. I still had a great time watching this film, and one that I will watch again. Do I recommend this? Well, if you love your musical films or stage shows, then check this out, especially if you have seen Wicked from 2024. Also, I have brought this to buy and keep on digital, as despite the fact that I was going to go and see this on the big screen, I couldn't brave the cold weather to go to the cinema. So instead, I stayed home with the heated blanket on and put this film on via my Samsung projector. So I did get some cinematic experience of viewing this film somewhat. Again, the set designs in this was good, but then again, I do believe they filmed Wicked and Wicked for Good back to back, hence why the first film released in 2024 and then the second in 2025. So not much had changed in terms of set designs, and I love the fact that this film came full circle and returned back to the first scene of Wicked, where we see Glinda telling the story of how her and Elphaba became friends. But Wicked for Good is available to buy and rent on digital platforms.
People we meet on vacation.
Next film I watched is a new film on streaming service Netflix, and it's People We Meet on Vacation, which I gave 3.5 stars over on Letterboxd. Emily Badder, Tom Blythe, Sarah Catherine Hook and Jamila Jamil all star in a new Netflix original movie that is titled People We Meet on Vacation, which is based on the novel written by Emily Henry. Have I read the novel? Of course I haven't, but People We Meet on Vacation, the movie was directed by Brett Haley. I don't think I have seen him direct anything else, but what did I think of People We Meet on Vacation? I enjoyed this movie. It does serve as a rom-com, and I do love the characters in here. I think the main characters are Poppy and Alex are likeable and throughout the running time, you are rooting for these characters to get together, despite the fact that they are vacation friends slash best friends slash travel buddies. But either way, you are rooting for these characters to get together. I thought the comedy in this film was really well balanced alongside the romance throughout the film as well. And this happens to be one of the first major streaming movies to be released in 2026. Is this a film I would recommend people to watch? If you have read the book, then I would say check out the film. If you are into rom-com movies, again, I would highly recommend watching this as well. Is this a film I could see me going back to and revisiting or rewatching again sometime in the future? I would say so, yes. And it's nice to see that Jamila Jamil continues to work alongside Netflix, having previously working on The Good Place TV show and also starring in a Christmas film which premiered on Netflix in late 2025. But People We Meet on Vacation is streaming now on Netflix worldwide.
Reunion.
Next up, I watched Reunion, which I gave 2.5 stars over on Letterboxd. Reunion has been on the watch list on Letterboxd for a while now. This has also been on the list of movies to watch in 2026. I have about 350 odd films to watch from that list this year, and I plan on watching them all, as well as rewatching some classics. So for me, watching Reunion is a first time watch. I came across it on Netflix in the UK. It is classed as a comedy film, and I will be honest here, there was some funny moments in this film. The script slash dialogue wasn't too bad in the film. However, though, I know the running time is rather short in this, but I do kind of wish we had a bit longer in this film to get to know the characters a little better. Reunion does come with a running time of 1 hour 35 minutes and is about a high school reunion, hence the title of the film, which then follows a murder mystery while all these former high school students who are now adults are stuck due to a snowstorm. Is Reunion a movie I enjoyed watching and would watch again? Well, I did somewhat enjoy this. However, I'm not in a rush to see this again anytime soon though. But would I recommend Reunion? Well, I would if you are looking for a quick comedy film to watch. Reunion is currently streaming on Netflix in the UK.
Amber Alert.
Next up, I watched Amber Alert, which I gave 3 stars on Letterboxd. Amber Alert is another movie that I have had on the watch list for ages and have kept meaning to watch this. When I first saw the trailer for this film, it had me intrigued and interested to watch this. I then saw it had came out on digital platforms, and I have kept meaning to give it a watch on digital. And then in the last couple of months, I have seen it has become available on streaming service Netflix here in the UK. So I watched, I waited for it to be released on the streaming service, and now here we are. Post-Christmas, getting through some movies that I need to watch in 2026 that has been on the watch list for a while, and I have finally sat down to watch this film. So what did I think of Amber Alert? I honestly did enjoy this because it is suspenseful. It is kind of edge of your seat thriller. It does come with a running time of 1 hour 30 minutes, but it does leave you interested and invested in the story. I know that I was definitely invested in the story throughout the 90-minute running time, and the film does also star Hayden Panettiere and Tyler James Williams. Is Amber Alert a film I would recommend watching? If you are into your thrillers and are looking for a decent thriller film to watch, then I highly recommend watching Amber Alert. And is Amber Alert a film I can see me revisiting and rewatching? Yeah, for sure. I will give this another watch again soon, as I did enjoy this thriller. Amber Alert is now streaming on Netflix in the UK.
The Woman in Cabin 10.
Next up is The Woman in Cabin 10, which I gave 2 stars on Letterboxd. The Woman in Cabin 10 was first released on Netflix all the way back in October in 2025, and it has taken me until now to give this film a watch. So what did I think about it? Funny thing is that pretty much a lot of the films I have seen recently, and even more so a lot of films that are still yet to come up for me to watch. This movie, The Woman in Cabin 10, is based on a novel, and like I have done so in previous reviews of films that have been been based on books. Have I read the book? Of course not. Do I plan on reading the book? Likely not. Keira Knightley and Guy Pearce star in this thriller film alongside Hannah Waddingham as well. And while for me, Keira Knightley was the standout performer in this, I just feel as though this film wasn't too great. Yes, it is a little mysterious, and the first part of the film does leave you invested and intrigued to know what will happen, but for me, I felt as though the second part of the film fell flat, and I don't really think this is going to be a movie that I will remember if you ask me what happened in this film in, say, a couple of days' time. The running time does clock in at around 1 hour and 35 minutes, so it is a quick and easy thriller film to watch. Do I recommend The Woman in Cabin 10? Well, if you are looking for a thriller to watch that you haven't seen before, or if you have read the novel and want to check this out, then feel free to. Is this a film I can see me going back and revisiting again? I don't think so. For me, this is a watch once and once only movie. The Woman in Cabin 10 is streaming on Netflix worldwide.
Self-Reliance.
Next up is Self-Reliance. I gave 2.5 stars over on Letterboxd. Self-Reliance is another one of those films in which I have never seen it before. It has been on my Letterboxd watch list for a while, and I have finally got around to watching it at long last. So what did I think of Self-Reliance? Self-Reliance is directed by Jake Johnson and also stars Jake Johnson, Anna Kendrick and Andy Samberg. It is in the comedy genre in terms of genre of film, and is about a guy called Tommy who plays a game in which he could win $1 million. However, though, the people around him don't believe that he is playing this game. I will be honest here, I am glad that I have now seen this film. I am happy with the way this film was. It does come with a running time clocking in at 1 hour 31 minutes, and I did chuckle at a few scenes in here. But for me, this is one of those films which I will likely watch once and once only, I'm afraid. Do I recommend watching Self-Reliance? If you are looking for a comedy film to put on that you haven't seen before, then sure, check this film out. Self-Reliance is currently streaming on Netflix in the UK. And finally, this week, by the way, before I do wrap this movie wrap-up episode up, I'm just going to go through the movies that I have rewatched this week as well, that I have seen multiple times. So I have seen Superbad, Project X, Freddy Got Fingered, it's a comedy film, I promise. Joyride, Strays, Good Boys, The Naked Gun from 2025, Robots from 2005, the animated film, Ali G in the House, Clown in a Cornfield, Oh Hi, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So those are the other films that I have rewatched this week, which obviously I've not had time to review, or that I have reviewed them before on the channel, and I don't want to obviously go through them again. But there we go. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video. Hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. As always, if you like it, if you like what you see and you want to see more, click right there to see more, in the words of Jeremy Johns. But yeah, click down below to subscribe to become a Stevo. I will be back on Sunday this weekend, Sunday the 18th of January 2026 at 4 PM UK time with my next episode of Steve's Movie Wrap Up. And of course, I will also be back very soon as well with another episode of Steve's Weekly Vlog. They will be returning after next Monday. So not Monday the 19th, but the week after, which I've got no idea what date that is. That's probably the 26th of January. That's it. 26th of January is when the weekly vlogs will be back. But until then, though, it's goodbye. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys again in my next YouTube video.